Hello everybody, welcome to Algebra 1 CST release question number 74. It says an object that is projected straight downward with an initial velocity v feet per second travels a distance s. Why they chose s instead of d, I don't know, but we'll just take it as it is. S equals vt plus 16t squared, where t equals time in seconds. If Ramon is standing on a balcony 84 feet above the ground and throws a penny straight down with an initial velocity of 10 feet per second, in how many seconds will it reach the ground? So let's draw a building. If we can in math, always a good idea to draw a picture. This one's going to have some windows here, and Ramon is pretty high up. He's 84 feet up in the air, standing on a balcony. We'll say this is the ground level right here. So we'll say he's up here, he's standing on a balcony, he's up here, and he's got his penny right here. So right there's his penny. He's going to throw it straight down with this initial velocity of 10 feet per second going in the downward direction. So you have s here equals v times t plus 16t squared. T represents your time, which is what we want to find out, what we want to figure out here. We know the distance traveled from the penny height to the ground is 84 feet. And so we know that goes in, that would have to go in right here. It's going to travel 84 feet. The initial velocity is 10. So I'm plugging in 10, I'm plugging in 84, and I'm solving for t here. How do I solve for t with something like this? We've been doing this all along, these past 10 to 20 problems, it seems like, where we're getting one side equal to 0 and then trying to factor the other side. If factoring is not possible, or if we can't see how to factor it, then we will try to use the quadratic formula instead. So from here, it looks like we can factor something out of everything first, so might as well do that. It'll make life a little easier for us. And I can factor out a 2 of everything out of everything first, leaving me with this. If I divided the whole equation by 2 on both sides, this would cancel here and here. 0 divided by 2 is still 0, and then the 2's cancel here and here, so I'm just left with 8t squared plus 5t minus 42. Now looking at my answer choices, it seems like this is going to be factorable. It gives me whole number answers. It doesn't say rounded off. So I'm going to try to factor this. I'm going to see if I can find the right combination using the trial and error method that I've done a couple times before. And so I'm going to try, I notice this is pretty small, this middle term, so meaning that when I multiply this inside and outside parts, I know that these have to multiply together to give me this term. I know that the first parts have to multiply together to give me 8t squared, and the last parts have to multiply together to give me negative 42. So I'm going to try some numbers that are relatively close together, at least as close as I can get, 4t and 2t. And then I know I could try, what could I try? I could try 6 and 7 here. I could try 3 and 14 for the combination, or 1 and 42. I think those are or I could do 2 and 21 as well. So those are the combinations I'm seeing right now. Let's go with 6 and 7. I know one has to be negative though, and one has to be positive for me to get a positive 5 value right here. So let's try, let's go with negative 6. No, that's not going to work. And something I'm noticing here as I'm going through this, I'm noticing this has to be odd. And if both of these are even, there's no way to get an odd number by adding these two together. So I've already determined that that's not the right combination. So actually 8t and just plain old 1t, that's the only way this is going to work. Your teacher may have some other ways to attack problems like this where you don't have just a 1 in front of the variable squared parts, but I'm using this trial and error method. I think it works pretty well, at least with the problems that you see in Algebra 1 most of the time. So 8t and t, that's going to give me 8t squared. I know 6 and 7 would still work, but a 6 here and a 7 here, that's going to be quite a discrepancy, not giving me close to what I see here. Okay, let's see what I could do. I'm going to try, if I had 14 and 3 here, no, that's not going to work, but maybe I could flip-flop those Interesting. I'm gonna pause the video so I don't waste your time here and think about the right combination here a little bit more, and I'll be right back. Okay, it just came to me, 2 and 21, because I know that I've got to have an odd number here. I know that the only way to get an odd number would be to multiply the t, the 1t, by something that is odd. If I multiply this even number by an odd number, it'll change it to an even number. And so I'm noticing here that if I had a positive 21 right here and a negative 2, this would multiply, the last terms would multiply together to give me negative 42 like I need, but the middle terms here, or the outside and inside terms, this would give me 21t and this would give me negative 16t. Putting these two things together gets me what I need right here. It gets me that positive 5t for my middle term from the original trinomial. And so this looks like the right combination. This value right here would be, if you set this equal to 0, 8t plus 21 equal to 0, that's going to give you one value, but it's going to give you a negative value for t, for time, a negative value for time, really, unless you're going back to the future or something, or Back to the Future on us if you're going traveling in time. Have you seen the movie Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3? Great trilogy. One of the original best trilogies that I can think of. But t as a negative 21 over 8, that's like negative 2 and 5/8 of a second. Negative 2 and 5/8 of a second. What does that even mean? It took Ramon negative 2 point whatever seconds to throw that down? I don't think so. Negative 2.625, I guess, is what that would be. Yeah, not so much. But t minus 2, we can set that equal to 0. You can add 2 to both sides. You can think of this as just 2 probably without doing this work, but 2 would be a viable answer. This is a positive value for your number of seconds. Therefore, number 74 should be choice A.